The beast of Manistee, often referred to as the Manistee Wildman, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the dense forests and remote areas around Manistee County in Michigan. The origins of this terrifying creature can be traced back to the early 19th century when Native American tribes first reported sightings of a massive hairy beast lurking in the shadows. The Ottawa and Chippewa tribes, who have lived in the region for centuries, spoke of a creature known as Mishapeshu, or water panther, a mythical beast with the body of a panther and the horns of a deer. While not a perfect match, these stories might have contributed to the legend of the beast of Manistee. They described the creature as a guardian of the forests, fierce and territorial, attacking those who ventured too deep into its domain. Legends also tell of a giant, ape-like creature, covered in hair, that would sometimes appear during times of strife or bad omens, known as the Wendigo. This creature was feared and respected, and its presence was seen as a sign that something was amiss in the natural order. When European settlers arrived in the early 1800s, they heard the native tales and initially dismissed them as mere folklore. However, it wasn't long before the settlers began experiencing strange occurrences themselves. Farmers would find their livestock mutilated, and hunters reported eerie howls echoing through the night. The settlers started referring to the creature as the Beast of Manistee, attributing the unexplained phenomena to this unknown entity. These early settlers, largely of Scandinavian and German descent, brought with them their own folklore of trolls and forest spirits, which may have influenced their interpretation of the creature. Manistee County, located along the eastern shore of Lake Michigan, was originally inhabited by Native American tribes who revered the natural world and had a rich tradition of storytelling. The dense forests, rivers, and lakes in the region provided a perfect backdrop for tales of mysterious creatures. With the arrival of European settlers in the early 1800s, the landscape began to change as forests were cleared for farming and lumbering. This period of transformation may have contributed to the frequent sightings and encounters with the beast, as both humans and the creature were displaced from their natural habitats. One of the earliest recorded encounters comes from a group of lumberjacks working in the Manistee National Forest. In the winter of 1850, a lumberjack named Thomas Burton went missing. His fellow workers found his camp in disarray, with deep claw marks on the trees and the ground. They also discovered massive footprints, larger than any bear's, that was leading away from the camp into the forest. Despite extensive searches, Thomas was never found, and the incident fueled the legend of the beast. The lumberjacks described hearing strange noises at night, including loud, guttural growls and the sound of heavy footsteps. Some even claimed to have seen a large, shadowy figure moving through the trees, always just out of sight. The disappearance of Thomas Burton was the tipping point, convincing many that the creature was not just a figment of their imagination. The camp was abandoned shortly thereafter, and stories of the beast spread quickly through the region. In 1871, a homesteader named John Hanson and his family moved to Manistee County to start a new life. One night, John's wife, Sarah, woke up to the sound of their chickens squawking in terror. When John went to investigate, he saw a massive hairy creature standing over the coop, with glowing eyes reflecting the moonlight. He fired his rifle, but the creature disappeared into the woods. The next morning, they found the coop destroyed and the chickens slaughtered. The Hansons, terrified, moved away shortly after the incident. John Hanson's account was particularly detailed. He described the creature as standing over 7 feet tall, covered in dark, matted hair, and having a foul odor that lingered in the air. The eyes, he said, were the most frightening part, glowing with an unnatural light. Despite his attempts to shoot the beast, it moved with incredible speed and agility, disappearing into the dense forest almost instantly. This encounter was reported in local newspapers, further spreading the legend of the beast. In the 1890s, an experienced hunter named William Carter set out to track and kill the beast of Manistee after hearing numerous reports of missing livestock and pets. Armed with his rifle and accompanied by his loyal hunting dogs, William ventured deep into the forest. For many days he followed the beast's tracks, which seemed to circle back and confuse him. One night, while camping, William was awakened by the sound of his dogs growling. He saw the silhouette of the creature at the edge of his campfire's light. The beast let out a bone-chilling howl, causing the dogs to cower in fear. William fired his rifle, but the creature vanished. Shaken, he abandoned his hunt and returned to town, convinced that the beast was no ordinary animal. William's story is often cited as one of the most credible encounters due to his reputation as a skilled hunter. He described the beast as having a human-like face, with large, protruding teeth and long, powerful limbs. The tracks he followed were unlike any he had seen before, measuring over a foot in length and showing signs of both bipedal and quadrupedal movement. Despite his efforts, the beast seemed to toy with him, always staying just out of reach and leading him deeper into the forest. After this encounter, many locals believe that the beast possessed supernatural abilities, able to vanish and reappear at will. In the summer of 1936, a group of Boy Scouts were camping near the Manistee River. One night, as they sat around the campfire, they heard rustling in the bushes. The troop leader dismissed it as a deer, but the boys were on edge. Suddenly, a large, shadowy figure emerged from the darkness and let out a guttural roar. The boys screamed and ran for their tents, while the leader grabbed a flashlight and shined it on the creature. What he saw was a huge hairy figure with glowing red eyes. The creature retreated into the forest, and the terrified scouts packed up and left the next morning. The incident was reported to the local authorities, but no trace of the beast was found. The Boy Scout troop leader, Robert Matthews, provided a detailed account to the local sheriff. He described the beast as standing at least 8 feet tall, with long arms that hung down to its knees and a thick mane of hair around its head and neck. The red eyes, he said, were unlike anything he had ever seen, glowing with an intense, malevolent light. The boys, though frightened, confirmed seeing the creature and hearing its terrifying roar. This incident received significant media attention, with many speculating that the beast was a reclusive, undiscovered species. In recent years, there have been numerous reports of sightings and strange occurrences attributed to the beast of Manistee. Campers have reported hearing strange howls and feeling an eerie presence watching them. Hikers have found large, unexplained footprints and claw marks on trees. Some locals believe that the beast is a relic from a bygone era, a creature that has somehow survived in the remote wilderness. Others think it may be a misidentified bear or a large, unknown primate. In 1997, a fisherman named Mark Johnson was fishing on the Manistee River when he noticed something large moving in the water. Thinking it was a big fish, he prepared his rod. To his shock, a massive, hairy arm reached out of the water and grabbed his boat. Mark, panicking, managed to cut the line and row back to shore. He reported the incident to the authorities, who dismissed it as a bear encounter. However, Mark was adamant that what he saw was no bear but the legendary beast of Manistee. Mark's account was detailed and compelling. He described the arm as being covered in dark, matted hair, with long, sharp claws at the end. The strength of the creature was incredible, nearly capsizing his boat with a single swipe. Despite the skepticism of the authorities, Mark's story gained traction in the local community, with many believing that the beast was becoming bolder and more aggressive. In 2010, a group of friends camping in the Manistee National Forest reported a terrifying encounter. Late at night, they heard heavy footsteps approaching their campsite. One of the campers, Emily, described seeing a large, hairy creature standing just beyond the firelight. The beast let out a deafening roar, sending the campers into a panic. They fled to their car and drove away, leaving their tents and belongings behind. The next day, they returned with local authorities, but only found their camp in shambles and large footprints leading into the forest. Emily's description of the beast matched previous accounts: towering height, long arms, and glowing eyes. The roar, she said, was unlike anything she had ever heard, a deep, guttural sound that shook the ground. The campers' belongings were scattered and torn apart, with claw marks on trees and deep impressions in the ground. This incident was widely reported in the media, reigniting interest in the legend. So, what do you guys think about these stories? Do you think that they are Dogman sightings, or could they be of a different creature, still yet to be discovered? Well, let me know down below all of your thoughts and opinions of what you think those people were witnessing. And until I upload another video for you guys, thank you for watching, and God bless you and your families.